Hi and welcome to class. So for today's class, we're actually going to be working our way up into dolphin pose. This is, I just love this shape, especially if my wrists are feeling tired or it's a very down dog heavy class. The forearm version, the dolphin pose, could be an awesome place to go back to. Now, in saying that, it requires a lot of strength in the shoulders, a lot of hold there, and pretty open hamstrings and back of your hips. So we'll work on all of those areas and the back of your legs as well. So I don't know if I said that, but in any case, we'll be working a lot on the back body part in opening, but we'll also do a lot of strengthening in the front body. Well, as much as you can do in about a 30-minute class. So in any case, we are going to jump straight in and we're going to start in a child's pose. But if there's anything else that you want to do, like if you prefer to be on your back or in a seat, anything really goes in these. Everything I say is just a suggestion. So if you are taking child's pose, totally up to you. Knees together, knees far apart, they'll do different things. So maybe bounce around between both of those and see what you think. Otherwise, you can take your arms nice and long. This isn't going to be a lot of hip openers, like inner hip openers in this class. It's more going to be targeted on those bigger muscle groups. But of course, kind of modify or, kind of make up your own thing as you go along if there's something specific that you need today, but still want to work on dolphin. It's a great opportunity to kind of get into your own practice while having some guidance from someone else at the same time. So starting with your child's pose pretty soft. You'll let your forehead down to the ground. Breathe in and out. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in and letting go. Now begin to draw your way into a more active child's pose, and you can reposition as you need. Crawling your arms nice and long. You might feel a little extension in that lower back as you pull your tailbone towards the back of the room. Your forehead may still be on the ground, or it might be lifted. It's up to you. And you're not gripping with your fingertips. Instead, you have this beautiful rooted palm into your mat where you're starting to engage the muscles of your arms. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Now rooting once again into those palms, start to pull your way forward into tabletop pose. If your knees are wide, just reposition them so that they're underneath the hips. Inhale to your cow, gently tip the tailbone towards the sky, drop your belly down, roll the shoulders back. And your exhale as you round through the spine, pulling the tailbone down and pulling your back of the spine to the sky. Gaze comes towards your thighs. Inhale to your cow, tilt the tailbone to the sky, belly towards the ground, shoulders sweep back. On your next exhale, once again, come into your cat spine, rounding through. Inhale to your cow, And exhale into your cat. Now find your neutral spine. And just observe where you land. If your belly kind of sags your way down, your chest kind of seeps down, maybe your elbows kind of flap wide, just notice where you start. And then if you need to, you can offer yourself some little adjustments. So maybe you lengthen through the arms, not locking out the elbows, but you have less of a bend and more of an engagement. Your tailbone is pulled back and your obliques, your abdominals, they're all starting to engage. Inhale here as you poof a little bit between the shoulder blades, nothing crazy. And then let your exhale pull your left hip towards the left elbow. So it's not going to go very far, but we're just crunching into that left side. Inhale back. And then exhale, crunch the right hip over towards the right side. So it's kind of like if you were a puppy just wagging your tail left to right. That's all we're doing here. As we're stimulating all of those obliques without anything aggressive going on. Very, very subtle. This might even just feel really good on your hips, to be honest. And when you're ready, just find your way into tabletop. Come down to your forearms, keeping your hips over the knees. And then just see what this is like. Keeping the neck nice and neutral, breathe in. And breathe out. Now if you'd like to add on from this, tuck through your toes and then hover your knees off of the ground. So not quite a forearm plank, you're just hovering the knees, engaging through the core. Breathing in and out. One more inhale. Now exhale, fully extend through the legs. You can shimmy those toes back if you need. Oh, there's a little stink bug on my mat. And then just notice again that space between your shoulder blades. Notice if your hips are super high, if you're kind of a little bit kind of not quite plank. You can even practice this with taking blocks underneath your chest, underneath your pelvis as support, so you can kind of get more of a feeling into it. But imagine there's this little kind of like, you're not poofing like a cloud between your shoulder blades. It's more like not sunk. So that equal place where you could probably balance like a cup of tea or something right there. And again, we're just activating the abdominal muscles, maybe even a little bit of the quads. And imagine you're drawing your elbows towards your toes and your toes towards your elbows, and it just adds another layer. Hold here for 3, for 2, and 1. Lower your knees down to the ground. I have a little bug friend on my mat, so I'm going to move my way all the way. Lower your pelvis and then pull it into your swings pose. Breathing in and out. Then when you're ready, tuck through your toes and pull your way once again into that forearm plank. Now, of course, you can lower to your knees here. Just keep them much further back from your hips. And what you're just going to do is we're going to do some shrugs. So you're going to drop your chest down, and then you're going to pull it up. You're going to drop your chest down, and then pull it up. Down and up. And again, you might want to drop your knees down if you get a little shaky. We're just really focusing on some of the strength in the front of the body, as well as building the mobility and awareness around the shoulders. One more time, down. And exhale up. Slowly lower your belly down to the ground. Take your hands by your ribs. Squeeze the elbows back and find baby cobra to counter some of that. And then sit your way into hero's pose at the back of your space. Let the shoulders rest down the spine. Just give yourself a break. I'm going to move this little guy in case I squish him. Again, if I was really good at this online stuff, I'd probably edit this out. But it is what it is. So, all right, once you've just given your shoulders a little rest, you might even want to give them a little massage, bringing your fingers up there and then just taking some circles. And then we'll go back. Now to your forearms. Bring your left foot back, right foot back. I was questioning what we go to first. And instead of shrugging, find that neutral place and start to move forward and back. Only small first. You don't have to go as far as I just did. It's probably too much. Just to see what it's like to come further forward and back. You might even want to step your toes back as your range of motion starts to increase. Again, you can absolutely take this on your knees and then just bring your hips a little more to the sky. Still going to get it. What we're focusing on is stability and the awareness again of your shoulders, so you know what depth you can go, how far you can go safely in your body. Take an inhale. And then on your exhale, slowly release once again down to the ground. Lower your belly down. This time fly your arms back, palms down by your side. And then inhale, lift up through the chest. Breathing in. And exhale down. Hands by your ribs. Push to your knees, breathe in. And then find your way into downward facing dog. And let your down dog be nice and long. Again, as always, high plank to down dog is a good kind of barometer of, I don't even know if that's the right word, it's a good checkpoint to see where you're meant to be. Breathing in and out. And in this moment, we're kind of, again, just building up some of the stability in the shoulder blades. You can even add on to this by bringing your elbows out to the side and then wrapping them in and then extending. You can also start to pedal out through your feet here, opening up into the back of your hamstrings. And when you're ready, float right foot to the sky, three-legged dog. Not too high, because we haven't really gotten into the legs too much. And then exhale, squeeze the right knee in towards the chest, into your nose, and then take as many steps as you need forward. Lower the left knee to a hover. Top of your left foot is flat. Breathe in. And then exhale into your half split, flexing the right toes towards the sky. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Now you can stay here. If you want to grab your blocks, I left mine over there. But if you want to use your blocks, you can slowly pop that back knee off the ground and keeping the left or the right toes flexed towards the sky. That'll be a little bit more intense. If it's too much, keep your right foot planted. You might just get a nice little bonus stretch across the top of that right foot. Up to you how you'd like to be. Keep the spine nice and neutral. That's why the blocks will be super helpful here. Breathe in and out. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the right knee down to the ground. Bring your hands down to the ground and then inhale, scorpion your right foot up and back. And then right knee taps the left elbow. Then take figure 4 from down dog, right foot over the left thigh. Bend through that left knee and get a nice little hip opener on that right side. Keeping the right toes nice and flexed, pushing through your hands. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. One more inhale here. And then exhale, step right foot outside of the right pinky. Lower left knee down to the ground. And then on your exhale, step right foot back to meet the left. Take a moment, shake out through the shoulders, shake out through the hands. Roll out through your neck. All right, other side. Come once again into downward facing dog. From down dog, three-legged as your left foot floats. Your exhale as your knee draws in towards the chest. Squeeze it nice and tight, pulling in through those abdominals before stepping left foot to meet the left fingers. Lower right knee down to the ground. Come into a low Anjaneyasana so your arms aren't lifted. More we're keeping it pretty close to the earth. Draw your heart forward and then exhale, half splits. Inhale, heart forward and exhale, half splits. Inhale forward and then exhale, half splits. And we'll linger here for a few breaths. Keep those toes flexed towards the sky. Keep that left hip wrapped back. Tucking through the right toes, you have the option here to pop the right knee off the ground. And then again, if you had your blocks, if I was good at this, I would have paused, got my blocks. But I am what I am, so striving not for perfection, but for doable, acceptable. Breathe in, breathe out. One more inhale. Exhale, bend into that left knee, plant the hands and sweep left foot into scorpion dog. And then exhale, left knee, right tricep, crunch it forward. And then take it into figure 4. Bend deep into that right knee. And open up through that left hip. So you might feel this in the glute a little bit. Might feel really good. Or if it's too intense, please don't hang out here. Breathe in. And exhale, left foot outside of the left hand into your lizard lunge. Lower your right knee down to the ground. Take a moment, breathe it in. And then exhale, step the left foot back to meet the right. Once again, into hero's pose. You can also take child's pose if that feels like a nice resting place for you. Just don't take too much pressure into your shoulders. We want to conserve some of that energy. Take an inhale. And a breath out. Now we're going to start to bring our way forward into that forearm plank once again. We're just going to start to do some forward and back little tiptoes. So keep the crown of the head nice and long here, and then slowly, as many steps as are going to allow you, start to bring your tiptoes forward. Push your forearms back so your heart starts to come towards your thighs. Only go to a point that feels accessible, and then tiptoe your way back again into the forearm plank. So we're not coming straight into dolphin. Instead, we're taking these little micro steps, because as we've all heard before, it's not about the end result. It's really just about what can we learn about ourselves on the way there. Tiptoe your way forward. Gradually, you're pulling your heart back towards your thighs. Your gaze might change direction. Only go as far as it feels good in your body, and then take it back. We'll do that one more time before taking a rest from your plank. Breathe in. And then exhale, tiptoe once again. Just before you would get, maybe it might be a little further than you did last time. And then step it back into your forearm plank. Very mindful. Lower down to your knees, and then find whatever place is going to feel good for you to go into a rest. It might be a little heart opener. It might feel good to come into seal, letting your arms just extend, drawing your shoulders back, breathing in and out. One more breath. Exhale, slowly drop the chest down. And then draw your way into child's pose. This time, bring your hands back towards your heels, and then find yourself into a little cocoon here. Breathing in and out. Draw your way once again into your hero's pose. We're going to give those shoulders a little bit of a roll around. I'm going to lubricate through the joint a little bit. I'm all about circulation these days, and sometimes these slower practices might get a little stagnant, so it's nice just to kind of shake it up a little bit. All right, so we're going to move into dolphin pose, and then we're going to come down into a rest. So if you're feeling ready, if you feel like your body has kind of warmed up enough for that, we'll go there. If you're still like, I'm not quite there, maybe pause this and work on more of the hamstring openers. If you need to get more into the glutes, the figure fours would work really well. Or if you're just feeling a little cold in your body and your just energy isn't up there enough, go through a few sun salutes. It's the joy of on-demand yoga. So what I've tried to do here is just kept things very simple, very kind of strategic a little bit. So let's get into it. Come down to your forearms, get into your forearm plank. And there's two versions that I'll show you today, so we'll come into it from here. So very similar to what you did from the tiptoe. We're going to just tiptoe our way in and only bring your feet to the point where it feels safe in the back of your calves and the back of your hamstrings. And again, you're going to just pull your heart like it's a magnet towards your thighs. You're just breathing.
Your heels definitely do not need to touch the ground. Your arms are like 11. There's so many different ways that you can get into dolphin pose, that you can warm up for it. So I might do another one of these again. So just see how it feels in your body. Take another inhale. And then exhale, simply just drop your knees down to the ground. Come back onto your heels. And then just shake it out. So dolphin pose, once you kind of get that allows you to get more into like the pinches, so like your forearm stand, or it can be also a really helpful place to get familiar with if you're going into a forearm stand. So just a good prep pose for those. Now, if you're feeling pretty good, I'll show you one more kind of version of how to get into dolphin pose from down dog. So this one requires quite a bit of strength. So come into down dog. Otherwise, if you'd like to take that other version of dolphin, please go there. So again, come to plank, down dog. And then you're just going to slowly bend the elbows. So remember that like bulldog version I told you of the elbows out to the side and then wrap them down. You're just going to continue down. And then you would just crawl your feet in or step your feet in and then pull your heart back. If you need more intensity in the back of your calves, because this is a great calf stretch, flex your toes up towards your shins. Hold here for 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly lower your knees down. Cross through your ankles. And let your feet come along. Shake out through your shoulders, shake out through your body. What do you need? Cross through your ankles, right shin on top. Take your right hand between your shoulder blades, left hand on the right elbow, and then gently just move off towards the left. Come through center, take your right hand to the left elbow, move off towards your right. Come through center, reach your hands towards sky. Then wrap your right arm underneath the left, hold opposite shoulders. If you'd like to find full eagle bind, you can do so. Lifting up, breathing in. And then exhale, rounding through. Come up through center. Unravel, cross the opposite shin on top, hands to the sky. Sweep the left arm underneath this time, right arm on top. You can hold opposite shoulders or find that bind, lifting elbows and then pulling forward. Slowly bring your way up. And then gently release. Take your feet, come into a diamond. So it's not with the heels close to your pelvis. Instead, you're going to take like a nice far diamond, holding onto your ankles or your shins. Lengthen up through your chest, take an inhale, and then fold. Breathe in and out. Slowly draw your way up. Take your feet long. And lower your way down to the earth. Hug your knees in close to your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Keeping the left knee into the left side of your body. Drop your right foot down. Scoot your hips off towards the left. And then let your knees drop off towards the right. And find a nice little supine twist here. Another inhale. And an exhale. Inhale, come through center. And we're just going to find this on the other side. So scoot your hips towards the right and let your knees drop off towards the left, and maybe your gaze comes to the right. Come through center. Hug your knees in close. If there's anything else you need here, please go ahead and go for it. Otherwise, let your legs grow nice and long. Let your body fall into a lovely Shavasana, softening your shoulder blades underneath you. Letting your collarbones be broad. Breathing in and breathing out. In and out. One more inhale and exhale. I'm going to encourage you to take as long of a Shavasana as you can. Let your body rest. Let it absorb the work that you've just done. I'll leave you here with my hands over my heart. In deep gratitude, I bow. The light and the shadow side of me honors and cherishes the light and the shadow side of you. Thank you.